300. Podcast, and here you are with me and Davey Longwood, our navigator, and Hellfire Henley, our gunner, and it is time for another episode. It is December 19th. It's almost Christmas, so I thought I'd put on my green pirate shirt tonight with my red jacket. I'm very almost Santa Clausy. You may notice I have a new Christmas tree here. It's my skeleton Christmas tree, and my pirate nutcracker. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, a pirate nutcracker. And we're all Christmassy here. As always, gentlemen, a cheer and a toast to each and every one of you that's here. We thank you for being here. Thank you very much, Max, for letting everybody know you're with us. Our rum tonight, ladies and gentlemen, brand new bottle of Bumbu. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do like this brand new bottle. And somebody told me not long ago that a very big celebrity in the rapper industry was responsible for Bumbu. And his name is Lil Wayne. Maybe some of you know who that is. Well, now look what he's putting on his bottle. Pictures of Lil Wayne right there. I got to get that in the... There we go. So that's on the Bumbu bottles now. All right, it's not going to change me from drinking it. I like it. As always, we want to let you know that if you want to be a part of our podcast crew, our comments and our commentary, we'd love you to join us. So go to YouTube and look for Captain's Quarters Podcast. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and even hit that little bell. Because we use ship's bells quite often in our show, and that bell will be your reminder to tune into our show 8 p.m. every Monday night Eastern Standard Time. We do want you to be a part of our crew, a part of our cast, and join us when we start talking about all the things we're talking about. We have a great special guest tonight. We'll be bringing her on board in just a few minutes. But as always, it is time for a bit of respect. We do this now. We've only done it a few times, but we do this now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 8 bells. Now, the first one, many of you may know, only by recognizing Stuart Margolin. He was an American film, theater, and television actor. He was one of the most sought-after character actors through the 80s, the 70s, 80s, and 90s. He was known as Angel on the Rockford Files, one of his big shows, but he also did... Miami Vice, you name a show, he was probably on it. And he was 82 years old, and he passed away on December 12th. He was a great actor. I loved him. He did a Love American Style several times. Some of us older ones remember Love American Style. And as I was reading his bio, a relative of his was the executive producer of Love American Style, and that's probably where he got most of his actual opportunities. He won 2 Emmys, ladies and gentlemen, for playing Evelyn Angel Martin on the 1970s television series, The Rockford Files. I always have that song running through my head once in a while. And then another one, a tragic death, Twitch. Most people would know him as the DJ for the Ellen DeGeneres show, as a co-host for the show. He was also an executive producer of the program. He was only 40 years old. Tragic details of his life, and we'll just leave it at that. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, when we pay respects on the Navy or nautical side of everything, it's 8 bells. So Davey, go ahead. Our respects to great talent, our respects to the family of their loss, and we move along. Cheers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we try to keep to a program, but it's going to be haphazard tonight because yours truly fell asleep this afternoon. I had 4 14-hour days this last week doing appearances as the Jolly Fat Man, just in case anybody of the children are watching. And, of course, the museum was doing well this past couple of weeks, too. Things have just exploded here in St. Augustine, and, of course, the Night of Lights starting on November 19th. By the time Christmas Eve comes around, Santa appearances will be 101. Yes, that's a lot. But for now, Davey, what's the quote? Quote of the week. Oh, I like the new poster there you're doing. It's not what's under the tree that matters, it's who's around it. Oh, I like that one. Very good. And Charles M. Schultz. Well, how about that? Charles Schultz, Charlie Brown. You're absolutely right. Max, would you behave yourself over there? Please? Kara, you might need to come down and talk to me. Max!
What do you want me to do? Tie his face shut?
No, give him a snack. Give him a snack. All right, my apologies for the dog being a little unruly tonight. We have guests here, and so he's trying to talk to them. It's all right, though. It's either that or I put a muzzle on him. I can't do that. So, it is also time for our question of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, question of the week. Christmas Eve or Christmas morning? When is your time to open gifts? We'll be looking at your answers right there in the comments at the end of the show, and just see what we've got for comments. Our Crew Adventures poster, which Davey just popped up there, but we'll pop it back up again. Not much going on. Pirates on the Edge, which was November. Oh, and I've got that all wrong. Ha! I'll have to go and refair that. My bad. It was November 4th. It is now January 7th. That's down in Edgewater, Florida. A full day of pirate activities. The St. Augustine Swashbucklers will be there the whole day, all the way into the evening. My bad on that Saturday, November 7th. It was supposed to be January 7th. But I was in a hurry and a rush, so I've made a mistake or two. We're human, and I'll have another sip of rum on top of that. This might be why all the rum's always gone, Mr. Davey. Also, January 27th, 28th, and 29th of 2023, we're bringing back Old City Pirate Festival. 2017, 18, 19, and 20. We had 4 good runs, and then, of course, the world came to a complete halt. We're now bringing it back in 2023 after a 2-year hiatus, and we have some great things going on. We'll be showing you our website and everything else starting next week. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be surprised. We have 3 bands booked for the whole event, plus a plethora of great entertainment through the entire day, and a dinner on Saturday evening. So, if you'd like to get involved, the 27th, 28th, and 29th, and we'll be letting you know our website come next week. On top of that now, we always talk about after events. After events, well, we have one, I think. That would be Miss Gina's Holiday Gala. Davey, what did you pull up for that? magician that was there. He was a good friend of mine. Did he do a good job?
Oh, Andrew did an awesome job. Everybody especially liked when he had to do the escape from the straitjacket and chained up to this awesome music he gave me. It was
Very
great.
good, very good. Well, he's a great magician. I really enjoy making sure he gets some work. I'm trying to get him to come and be a part of the Old City Pirate Fest also. And I'm hoping he'll do the straitjacket escape. It is a great time for all. He is a fantastic entertainer, and I like having him around. So he's going to become a part of our stable of solid entertainers. Guess what? That's a segue. A stable of solid entertainers. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest, our guest tonight, is somebody that I've had the pleasure of actually working with, even dancing in my own pitiful way on the stage with her and her tap dancers. Noise Complaint is her tap dancing crew, but she's going to tell us a bit more about other things that she does. So, ladies and gentlemen, do you have a banner to put her up there, Davey, so we can bring her on?
Oh, you give me a banner.
Just put the YouTube banner up. That'll work.
YouTube banner. Right.
And, ladies and gentlemen, or block out the screen. I don't care. I'm easy tonight.
Okay.
I've had a nice, easy, relaxing day. Wait. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, Jenne Vermes. Did I do it right?
Jen, actually.
I know, Jen. All right, Jen. I have another friend that her name is spelled a different way, and I call her Jean, and it's Jen with her, too.
It doesn't actually bother me, ever.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Jenne Vermes. Now, I'm drinking her rum because she's not a rum drinker, but we've actually we've been friends now for...
Oh, like a decade.
Almost a decade.
Yeah.
Almost.
I think it was 2015.
15 and 16 for Peter Pan.
For Peter Pan.
Yes, that's when I first met you.
Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah. So, some of you may know that I played Captain Hook in the St. Augustine Ballet of Peter Pan in 2015 and 16. And my crew were a bunch of tap dancing pirates led by Jen. And it was a lot of fun. Now, I can't tap dance, so I just did some jigs and made myself look silly and had a great time. But they tap dance. And then from there, we had you come and be a part of some of our other events.
Oh, we loved those events.
And we're trying to get her for Old City Pirate Festival. Now, she's already booked.
We can do the Sunday.
What's that?
We could do Sunday, just not Saturday.
We haven't decided how much we're going to do on Sunday
Got
yet.
it.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll talk.
So,
we'll talk.
And you can't do Friday or Saturday.
I could do Friday.
Yeah?
It's just that Saturday I can't do.
We might talk about Friday also
Okay.
then. We could have you be the opening act for the band.
That would rock.
We're bringing in, believe it or not, we're bringing in Firewater Tent Revival as our band for Friday night.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Only problem is they might have all their stuff all over the stage. We'll have to work on that.
We've done worse.
Okay, we'll work on that. It would be wonderful to have you there, though. It
We
really
would
would.
love to do it.
It would be a lot of fun. So, let's see. Talents. Tap dancer, singer, videographer, I would say, up to a point.
You sure?
Author of several books, at least 3 that I know of.
I am a solo author of 2, and I co-authored 2-ish with my dad.
So let's see, 2 and 1-ish is 3, and 1 more is... So I was right, 3. 3 is working. So let's start with, how long have you been tap dancing?
Oh my gosh, how old am I? I've been tap dancing for 35 years.
She started when she was 2.
4.
I tried to give you the benefit of a doubt.
No, I'm proud to be my age. Man.
So you have, how big is your tap dancing crew now? Noise Complaint is the name of the crew that she dances with, but you have a secondary
I do.
now. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't know that until you made a mention of it earlier while we were doing pre-show stuff.
I have 2. Noise Complaint is the one I've had for almost 10 years now, and we have 10 dancers and 1 stage manager. And it's such a great group. Like, this is the most solid group I've ever had. I absolutely love them. And then my second company is called Rhythm Theory Tap Ensemble. Noise Complaint does like tap dance theater, and we play characters, and we have acting and tap dancing that kind of work together. Rhythm theory is just tap, and it's like more technical. And the girls that are in that company are not a big fan of acting, so that worked out better for them.
Well, that works out. Now, noise complaints. Some of the people that were on stage with us when we did Peter Pan, are they still with you?
Two of them are still with
Which
still
two?
with me. Andrea.
Yeah.
And Alex.
Alex, I remember
The guy
Alex
with the
too.
curly hair.
Yeah, very good. So,
Yeah.
if we'd had some time or I had some forethought, I'd have tried to see if I could find some video of us dancing as Captain Hook and his pirates.
I know I have some pictures.
I know I have some pictures, and I do have a video of it, but we'll have to put it up on our YouTube page for people to see. Because the other thing that I ended up doing was I ended up doing the rumba. I think it was the rumba with the crocodile at the end of the show.
Yes.
Yes. So and Jen was pretty much my dance coach through the whole time. She made sure that I didn't stumble and look too stupid.
It was a lot of fun.
Look at that. There's Captain Hook.
Yeah, that was when Kira and Harlow were the what is that, Tinkerbell and Wendy.
Yes, and I still once in a while now they're both adult lovely ladies now.
I just saw Harlow tonight.
Did you really?
Yeah, she came back from college to help with Zoika's Nutcracker.
Oh, very cool.
Fantastic.
The best thing about having done that with all those children is whenever they're downtown and they see me, I get hugs galore. Those children
I saw
are
so
wonderful.
many of them tonight because of the rehearsal, and I told them I was going to do the podcast. They're like, "Oh my gosh, tell him we said hi."
Oh, I love those. It was so. Two things about the experience for me. One, it was wonderful, and two, I'd never been in a ballet before, and I always jokingly tell everybody, yes, I was in a ballet, and I did not wear a tutu. It would have been a 4-4 on me, and that would have been ugly. But Pat Croce asked me, because the museum had opened in 2010, and I'd been working with Pat Croce at the museum, and after the first year I did it, Pat Croce asked me, he said, "Why would you do that?" And I looked at him and I said, "Because in all your books, you tell people, take the chances, step out." I have done all kinds of entertainment. I've done comedy clubs, I've done magic shows, I've done voiceovers in theater and radio and television commercials, never done a ballet. And when the head of the St. Augustine Ballet, and his name escapes me, can you help me? Luis, that's right, Luis. When he came to the Pirate Museum to ask the Pirate Museum to help them sponsor it because of Captain Hook, they did not have a Captain Hook at the time. Mm-hmm. And I just happened to walk up into the office and he said, "You would make a good Captain Hook." And I went home and I said, "No, I'm not interested." I went home and thought about it, though. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know what? If Dustin Hoffman and Christopher Walken can play it, I can play it.
You were a great Captain Hook.
And it was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun. And the children were so talented.
They are. Do you remember Jake?
Yes.
The boy?
Yes.
He is 6'3" now.
Yes.
And just one of the most amazing dancers I've ever seen.
And he's still dancing.
Yes, he's the Cavalier in our Nutcracker.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these children, they just start out and then they go on, and many of them are working in some kind of entertainment world. So it was a wonderful experience. And really, in the entertainment world, the best thing about experiences in the entertainment world is that you get to meet other people of great talent, and then you get to do other things with them. Because if you get along with them, or if you admire their talent or respect their talent, then you do more work with them. And Jen and her crew, I can't say enough about them. And I was, I'd asked you several times to be on the show. But you were always busy. You are so busy. So I was thrilled that we finally came up with a night that you could be on the show with us. So it's a lot of fun to just be having you here and just reminiscing. It makes me feel wonderful. And at my age, 300 years old or so, I reminiscing about hanging out and doing stuff with the young people is always a lot of fun. So let's. I always like to ask the celebrities that come on the show, and I consider you a celebrity. What's one of your most memorable times for noise complaint? We're going to talk about some of your other stuff in a few minutes, but give me maybe one or two of your most memorable times. Have you ever, and this is always fun to ask, you ever danced or had any celebrities in the audience that have?
Yeah, actually, 3 weeks ago. Was it 3 weeks ago? I'm a big Trekkie.
Oh,
huge Trekkie.
Yes.
And Noise Complaint got to be a part of the Rocky Horror Picture Show at GalaxyCon Columbus. Now, not only was Barry Bostwick actually there and did the intro for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, we were the Transylvanians. Terry Farrell from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. She played Jadzia Dax.
Oh, really?
She was in the front row. I cannot tell you the number of pelvic thrusts I did in front of that woman. Because it was the Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
And we did the Peacemaker.
Oh, very cool.
So I got to perform as an actor and a dancer in front of somebody that just... I always watched on TV and was like, oh my gosh, this person is such a good actor and such a great artist, and it was just so cool to be able to
around the corner here from where we're sitting around the corner I have my celebrity wall, and I have a picture of Barry Bostwick.
Oh wow.
Because he was at the con last time, and we actually did an interview and put him on our show and had a good time with him.
He's such a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. You know, he lives in Florida.
I didn't know that.
That
makes sense though.
Yeah, he lives in Florida.
Because the con director lives in Florida, so
yeah,
they know each other.
He lives in Florida, and he has my card and my personal number. He said he's never been to St. Augustine, but he's heard about the history here and he wants to come. Totally I said, if you come to St. Augustine, you have a personal tour guide.
Love it.
So, and he was wonderful. Davey was excited to meet him, weren't you, Davey?
Aye.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But you met this. So there was a female at the con. See, names are escaping me. I'm really so wore out from all the work.
No worries.
I'm having problems remembering names. But she was the blonde in all the first 3 or 4 Pirate of the Caribbean movies that slaps Jack Sparrow.
Oh,
she was at the con.
Yeah, this was the one year I didn't get to go to Ancient City Con. I was really upset about it.
She was in Star Trek.
Yes.
She was also a Star Trek person.
She was.
What's that?
Is it Vanessa?
Yes, Vanessa
Branch.
What's that?
Is
Say
it
it
Vanessa
again?
Branch?
That last name doesn't sound familiar, but it was Vanessa.
Vanessa something.
Now
that I'm thinking about
her
it,
picture's
I can't
on my
remember.
wall over there too, because she did an autograph just for us. She wants to come on our show. We just haven't worked on the dates yet.
Yeah.
And I'd love to have her there. She was also a Maxim girl. You remember the Maxim magazine? She was a Maxim girl, and I'm still trying to dig up and see if I can find that issue. Oh, you can't see him, but Max is peeking out between the bars there. So Barry Bostwick, and then she played Jadzia Dax.
Yeah. And I've gotten to perform for probably a bunch of celebrities. Monica Rial, she's a voice actress, and she's come to our shows a lot. Actually, every time we see her at a con, she tries to come to the shows. And Dana Snyder, he's the voice of Master Shake on Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and he actually doesn't come to my show. He makes me perform at his panel.
Oh.
Every time he sees me, he goes, "Jen, get up here!" And then I can't even do the voice properly. He has this incredible voice actor voice.
Really?
It's just, he's so funny.
There's a lot of people that I talked to at the con this last year that you wouldn't know who they were. Mm-hmm. For example, the Umbrella Society.
Yeah.
The actor that played the chimpanzee, the talking chimpanzee, he was there, and we talked with him and took some pictures with him and had some fun with him. So some of these people you wouldn't know if you ran into them on the street.
That's the benefit of being a voice actor.
It is.
You get the anonymity.
Or to be a character actor in a costume with green screen. But the other thing too that was fun to learn about him was that he's a stand-up comedian also, and so we had some similarities in our lives about stand-up comedy. So it's a lot. I'm very lucky to get invited to Ancient City Con. I really like it.
I hope to return next year.
We're planning on it already for ourselves. We're planning there.
It is in my plan. This year Noise Complaint got booked for a separate show that same weekend.
Really?
Yeah, through another show.
So speaking of shows then, how many engagements are you doing a year now, do you know?
Pre-pandemic we were doing 26 weekends a year.
That's half a year.
Yeah. Now it's closer to 15 weekends a year. So
yeah, but it'll pick up.
That's just with Noise Complaint.
Yeah.
And then Rhythm Theory adds more in there, and then I have my solo music, and my husband and we actually started a music duo called The Side Job. So that takes up some time.
So how long have you been? The question is in my head. Let me reformulate it. The secondary tap dance group. How long have you had them going?
since the end of 2017.
Okay. Now, do you dance with them, or do you just
I do.
stage manage them? You dance
No,
with
I
them
dance
too?
with them.
All right, very good.
But they're so talented. Oh my gosh. They could probably do an entire show without me, without any notice. I could just be like, okay, I'm not coming today, and they'll be fine.
Well, that's good.
They're so talented.
So before the show, during pre, we were talking about some others, and so although Jen doesn't drink rum, she does drink wine, and she was talking about Manischewitz wine.
I do like Manischewitz.
So I had to give her a piece of trivia, because probably one of the most famous tap dancers in the world
of course.
is
Yeah.
Sammy Davis Jr. And he used to do the Manischewitz commercials back in the 70s, I'm pretty sure, which led us to talk for a few seconds about Gregory Hines.
Yeah.
And the movie Tap. And there are two things in the world that I've never learned to do that maybe I still might do if I ever have time. One is tap dance, and the other is play the banjo.
I can teach you only one of those things.
So, I mean, and my favorite comedian, one of my favorite comedians of all, is Steve Martin. And what does he do? He tap dances and plays the banjo.
Plays the banjo, yeah.
So,
It's never too late to try these things, though. I became a
I-
drummer
I
a
st-
couple years ago.
I still
so-
think I have the legs for tap dancing.
Hey, you do.
I think I can do the tap dancing. I mean,
have
I can sit still and move my feet fast enough, but standing on my feet, it might be different. But if there's ever some time, I might have to have you teach me a little bit.
I'm down with that. I also
Just
have
enough.
YouTube tutorials.
Oh, do you?
I have two and a half years worth of YouTube tutorials that are free to access on YouTube.
So speaking of that, then what's your YouTube channel?
It is youtube.com/Jenne Vermes, but you got to spell my name the way I spell it.
Which is JENNE
VERMES.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that YouTube channel, and then you can find out more about her because she's got other things on there too, like.
Well, I have separate channels. I've learned YouTube only likes you to do one thing.
Oh, really?
People that watch YouTube, they want to go to your channel for just one thing. I tried putting music on that channel, and I lost subscribers. Like, I would post
Really?
a music video, and people would be like, okay, bye, I didn't come here for this. And I kind of get it. So I had to make a separate music channel. So I have Jenne Vermes Music. And then I also have a separate vlog channel that I do with my husband called Safety Scissors and Duct Tape. So I have just all this YouTube.
So if you just go to JENNEVERMES, that's your tap dance.
Yes,
All
and
right.
then that channel does link to my other two channels.
So let's talk about your books. You say you've written two,
Yes.
co-authored two others. What are the two that you've written, and what are their subjects?
I have a book called Pathways, and it is about superpowers that suck, actually.
So
it's about a girl that goes off to college and discovers that she's like, there's changes happening. And all of a sudden she realizes she's developed a superpower, but the superpower has major downside. And she's an empath. But she's not the kind of empath that's like Deanna Troi. It's more like she walks into a room and suddenly she feels literally everything that everyone else is feeling.
Wow.
And so you see the downside of having superpowers. And then she meets this other motley crew of like people with superpowers that suck. Like there's a guy in the book named James, and he has prophetic dreams. But it means he never reaches deep sleep because he's only ever dreaming. So he never hits deep sleep. He's tired all the time. It's crazy.
Wow. What an interesting character that is.
Right?
Where did you come up with the idea?
One day I wanted to read a book pretty much about that. I went to the bookstore. I couldn't find anything about college-age girls or college-age people dealing with like superpowers or something. And so I said, fine, I'll just write one. And then I did. And so that took 10 years to publish. It took 10 years for me to get the guts to publish it.
So is it on
self-published.
Amazon?
It is.
What's it called again?
Pathways.
Pathways on Amazon. Go find that one. Sounds like a good book. I'm gonna go find it because I'm building a collection of books from all the different people that I've had on the show so far. This is Davey. Is this our 54th episode? 55th episode?
Really?
Are you there? Are we all by ourselves, Davey?
No, I'm here. It's
Okay.
54.
So 54 episodes?
Yep.
All right. And so I have books we've had several authors come on board, and they brought their books to us, and I'm building
I will
a collection.
bring you mine. I'm so sorry I forgot them today,
That's
but I
all
will
right.
bring you mine.
We're building a collection because down the road we're going to start advertising all our guests, all our friends, their books. We want their books to do well.
Thank you.
So So what's the second book? Pathways is the first one.
I wrote a little poetry book. It's called Noise, and it was going to be the first of a series, but then I started writing music instead of poetry. So eventually, I might go back to that. But it's
Well,
just
that's a good
poetry book.
segue, because now you write music.
Well, wait, can I talk about the co-author books?
Yes, let's do. All right,
Okay.
absolutely. It's
So
your
the
show.
reason, well, the reason why I want to talk about it is because I wrote them with my dad. And one of them, actually, I just looked on Amazon because I was going to pull them up in case we needed info. I looked it up on Amazon. It's apparently 75% off today. I did not set that price. Amazon just set that price. So today's a good day to get that book.
What's it called?
It's called Standardized People.
Standardized People. All
So
right.
my dad was a teacher, and I'm a teacher, and he and I both had this one major thing in common when it came to that, and it was that we hate standardized testing. And we see what it does to people. We see that it makes people only able to choose from options instead of like create their own thoughts.
Right.
And so we turned that into a conspiracy theory novel.
Really?
It's so fun. Now I will say there's no chance of this book ever getting a rewrite because my dad passed away. But and I don't want to change it because those are his words. There's a little bit of a language barrier in it, so some chapters are tougher to read than others. But
Why is the language barrier?
he was Hungarian.
Ah.
So he spoke English, but his writing of English was a little interesting. But the plot of the book is fantastic, and it's a great book. I just like to be honest about like some chapters. It seems a little weird, but it's such a fun story, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. Like I didn't know how he was going to end it, and I was like dying to know. And then I read the ending. I was like, whoa.
That makes me want to go find that one too. So that one's called what?
Standardized People.
Standardized People.
I recently redid the cover for it, but I won't touch the wording because those are his
now,
words.
as a tribute to your dad and an honor to your dad, you should never change it. You should let it just...
That's basically, I was going to. I was like, it needs a rewrite. I could probably make it better. And then I read through it and I was like, I'm not touching it.
No, don't
Sorry.
do that. Leave it alone. If anybody has a problem with it, then that's their issue and not yours.
Yeah. Well, it's 75% off the paperback right now. So
Hey.
now's a good time to grab that.
Davey, I hope you're taking notes because I'll be asking you those titles again because I may go on Amazon and find those because I got to make another Amazon. Oh, look at that.
That's Pathways.
That's Pathways. See, Davey's really quick about finding stuff.
And I designed the covers myself. I found a little bit of a talent for digital design when I was not wanting to pay for someone to do my covers.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you co-authored a second one, though.
Yes, kind of. This one's heavy. So I'm Jewish and I'm the granddaughter of Holocaust survivors.
Right.
And my grandfather and grandmother were in the camps, and apparently my grandfather kept a diary when he was there. My dad spent the last years of his life translating it. That's what we published.
So
I added an essay to it, but he didn't get to publish it before he passed. So my family and I finished the rest of it, and I added a little essay to bring it to today, and it includes my grandmother's account as well. It's his on-the-day diary, and then her account from 25 years later.
Wow. That is heavy.
It's very heavy. I'm sorry.
No, don't be. Because, well, you know me being the voice of the Pirate Museum, I'm really big on history.
Oh, this is true history.
And you can't, you should never ignore history. And two, you should never really tiptoe around history.
Yeah.
Because then you don't learn anything. So, that being said, did your grandmother and your grandfather survive the camps?
They did.
They did. So you're Hungarian Jewish.
Yes.
That
And
was
every entry in the diary is a love letter to my grandmother.
really?
Yeah. Like I couldn't have made it up. Like Spielberg couldn't have made this up. Like this is the most beautiful thing I've ever read.
Wow.
You gotta drink rum while you read it.
So what's the name of this book?
This one is called Letters from Camp.
Letters from Camp. That one, I think I'd be most interested in reading that one, putting that one in my
And
collection for
it
sure.
also includes scans of his original writing. So
Really?
you see the translation, because it had to be translated from Hungarian. So you see the translation, and then you see like his actual writing scanned in. It was very important to my dad that was put in there.
Well, that's a pretty good thing. I have an uncle, and his name was Uncle Ennio, so you could well imagine that he was Italian. He was Italian-American, and he wrote a book, and I have a copy of his book, and I read through it once in a while and look through bits and pieces of it. And it's his story of coming to this country when he was a young Italian and doing... So those things are important.
Very.
We try not to be. There it is, right there. How about that? Letters from camp. We try not to be too political on this show.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to turn anybody off as far as the politics go of anything. But there are several different points of history that is part of American history that we should never shy away from. And even if we talk about it, or even if we publish books or whatever else, we're not glorifying that idiocy that caused some of that.
We're
sharing the stories. That's it. We are, and it's very important, because there are people, and I'll use a different example to keep it from this side. There are people in the world that still believe the world is flat, and they will argue till the cows come home with evidence that they believe proves that the world is flat. And I use that as a side example because I don't want to go too far into the Holocaust and everything else, because there are people that believe that it never happened, or make really ugly statements about that kind of thing, and it even bleeds over into, we're still trying not to be too political, but it even still bleeds over into people. Some people in political power right now say it's okay to let all these people come through at the borders of the United States. It's okay. We're a nation of immigrants. Yes, except for one thing. The immigrants that came here properly made the rules and want to abide by the rules. You can't just let everybody come in. After a while, there's not going to be any room for anybody. And that causes problems. But stories like your grandfather's story would be wonderful to read, so let's just switch it to another spot to make it even more fun. Yesterday was the first day of Hanukkah.
It was.
So I should be saying Happy Hanukkah to you.
Thank you. It was a great first night.
Was it really?
Yeah, we had so much fun.
Very good, very good. So as Santa, I do wander around and I say Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa. Because Santa Claus is one of those characters that actually pretty much does envelope almost all cultures. Completely. There are stories.
I grew up knowing about Santa Claus and believing that Santa Claus brought presents.
Yep.
Even though I was Jewish.
We did a history of Christmas 2 weeks ago, and the history of Christmas 2 weeks ago, we even revealed, my brother watches the show. He may be on there now. I haven't looked to see who's on there. But my brother even brought up the point that when my mother was young, Santa Claus brought the Christmas tree, the decorations, and everything. So all that night, my grandmother was doing all the work to make sure that all of this was set up by the next morning. Can you imagine that? Bless you. Bless
Thank you.
So, let's see. We've talked about your tap dancing, and we've talked about your books, but you also do parody music videos.
Yes, I do parodies and originals.
Well, we did look for some parodies because I like parodies.
I like them too. I like anything that's funny.
Davey, what have we got that we can share with our audience? That one of the ones that Jen has done, a parody. She did one about going to the con, right? Can we pop that one up there?
Ticket and my cosplay's all packed. 2 cans of Monster for the way, and I sure do have some sweet company. And we're leaving tomorrow. What do you say? At the con, I just can't wait to be at con. I'll be sure to have some laughs and I'll get some autographs. So I just can't wait to be at con, at the con. At the con, we finally made it to the con. I have cat ears in my hair and there's Deadpools everywhere. Oh, it feels so great to be at con. I got my ticket in the VIP line, the one with the most amazing view. I see vendors, I see artists, I see Goku the guitarist, and the schedule has a million things to do. At the con, fun. I'm gonna get some art prints here, I'm gonna get pop figures there. Oh, I'm gonna go broke at this con, at the con, at the con. I've got some big plans for this con. I'm gonna cosplay all day long, leave the parties out of this song. Oh, what happens here stays at the con, at the con, at the con. We're here at this amazing con. Let's make these memories last. I hope I don't lose my past. Oh, I love to be here at the con.
I like some of the wording in there because they were like cliche words in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. So you've done Ancient City Con for sure, but name some of the other cons. Have you done Dragon Con?
As a dancer?
Yeah.
Oh, I do Dragon Con every year.
Do you?
I with Noise Complaint and with a band called Cruise Shadows.
Very cool.
One of the other Cruise Shadows was actually at Ancient City Con this year. Johanna?
Oh, yeah. Yeah?
Yeah, she was there, and she's the violinist. I'm one of the dancers.
Very cool. Very cool. So there are like dozens and dozens of cons in this state.
We go all the time.
Do you go out of state?
Oh, yeah. We were just at GalaxyCon Columbus. And before that, we were at Conjuration in Atlanta. And before that, we were at DragonCon. And GalaxyCon Raleigh, MetroCon in Tampa. I'm just going backwards through the year. InfinityCon Tallahassee? Yeah. MomoCon in Atlanta. GalaxyCon Richmond.
Wow.
Like, we're everywhere.
I do an acting seminar that is 2 or 3 hours long, and it talks about my experiences in Vegas and comedy clubs and real life military time and everything else, and using my experiences to help people develop characters and how to come out of your shell and be. And I'm trying to get Ancient City Con to let me do that. And
I'm sure he would.
If they can, then I'd like to do it. I'd like to start selling it to other cons, which means that I'll go back on the road again and doing exactly what I love to do.
Fun, though.
And going to these cons and meeting some great people.
I can give you some great cons that I think would go for that.
Right. Well, let's talk about that because
sure.
I'd really like to try that.
I've
love
been
to
to almost every con in Florida.
Good.
Except I've never been to Spooky Empire because I'm allergic to fake blood, face paint, and latex. And there's a horror con, so I feel like I should not go to that.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't go to that one. So, Davey, do you have the one of her? During pre-show, we were looking at some of the. Do you have the one of her tap dancing? Maybe we should see some of her tap dancing talents real quick, just a brief one of it, if you've got it there, and show that off and let everybody see that she is actually a very good tap dancer too.
I try.
Well, so as he's trying to find that, what do you have a favorite of what you like to do? Do you, or is it all rolls into one, doesn't it?
I mean, if I have to pick a favorite,
Yeah.
tap dancing.
Tap dancing.
I love tap dancing. I will do it morning, noon, and night if everyone would let me. But, you got to have, like, the real job, so.
So with our listeners and the people that will see this show, because we have about 1,000 people watch it. We get 1,000 clicks a week on all our shows.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool. What have you got coming up over the next, say, 6 weeks?
This week I'm actually slammed. I have a Hanukkah event at Town Center Mall up in Jacksonville that I'm performing at tomorrow with Noise Complaint. I think it's like at 5 o'clock or 5:30. Very,
You're not wearing
short.
rabbi costumes right now.
No, but I am wearing a dreidel dress.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good.
I'm excited because I always do Christmas events. I've never gotten to perform at a Hanukkah event. And, like, this is so cool to me.
It is. For you, it would be wonderful.
Yeah,
That's right.
My company owes me this one.
Very good.
And then on Thursday, I'm performing with Zoika's Dance in Christmas Fantastique. I'm the lead soldier, and the tap dance the Russian song is a tap dance. It's so cool. And Chinese is hip hop. And I mean, it's the most unique nutcracker you'll ever see. I definitely recommend going. So I'm in that on the 22nd, and then on the 23rd, I'm tap dancing with Crescendo Amelia Big Band with their How the Big Band Stole Christmas. And then in January, I'm tap dancing at, what is that place called? The Neutral Zone in Kingsland, Georgia.
Yep.
Because I am getting married again.
Again?
Yes.
Why? Renewing?
No, we got married in July, and my mom and brother were unable to make it to the wedding
So you're
because
going to
they
do it
got
all
sick
over
that
again.
week.
Oh.
Yes. So we have to get married again, but this time, the first wedding was sort of traditional. It was a normal, traditional hall, that kind of thing, but we tap danced. Like, the ceremony was a tap dance show.
Wow.
It was amazing. And we're going to do it again. But this time we're going to do a Star Trek themed wedding tap dance show on the bridge of the freaking Enterprise.
Yeah.
And I get to have the nerdy wedding of my dreams.
They keep trying to get me to come up there because they want Captain Mayhem to take over the bridge.
Do it.
And
Oh, they're
so-
such nice people.
They are. They're wonderful.
They're amazing.
And I have two of my crew, Mr. D and Robin.
Mm-hmm.
They go up there and dress in Star Trek and Mr. D also is a female impersonator.
Love it.
So he's done a couple of the female characters of Star Trek.
Nice.
One of the ones with the big giant hair bouffant,
Yeah.
which my wife Kara, who's a hairstylist, made it for him, and so he does that. So every year at con, they go, "When are you coming out? When are you coming out?" And it's like, I don't have time.
I know, that's the hard thing. They asked me to be a red shirt once, and I
Well,
was
that's
like,
dangerous.
I'd love
You don't want to be
I
the red
know.
shirt.
I would love that in a fan film, though.
Yeah.
I'd be like, look, Mom, I'm dead on the floor.
Yeah, red shirts don't last very long. Nobody wants to be a red shirt. Hey,
But-
I just had a thought. Hellfire, we need to put you in a red shirt.
I got the-
Wedding
I
shirt
got
gets to
the-
be the
They're
captain,
close enough.
so.
What's
I got
that?
the captain. It's a Christmas one too.
Ah, you got a Christmas one?
Yep.
Pop it up there. Well, we hear it. There it comes.
Oh, I know this one. In my YouTube.
Can you hit that ad thing and make it disappear? There we go. Thank you, Davey. Happy holidays. That's cool. That's cute. Very cute.
That's an old one.
Well, you can see that she can tap dance, and I am definitely going to make her teach me. I may watch the tutorials, but I'm going to get some in-person training.
Oh, yeah.
And her husband is sitting over in our green room. We don't have the other camera set up, but he's going to have to come over and stand guard and make sure that she's doing it all right for me so I can learn how to do
He's a
this.
tap dancer, too.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Have I ever seen you perform? I don't think I've ever seen you perform.
I don't think he was
Yeah,
with
we're talking
us.
across the room now.
I don't think he was with us
Yeah.
when we performed with you as a dancer.
I
He was
saw
our
you
videographer.
perform as Captain Hook. That was the first time I had met you. But
Right.
The only time you've ever seen me on stage was when she was singing at Ancient City.
Right.
He was my DJ.
So maybe what we need to do is somebody likes your Taffy Holidays. They love it. Maybe what I need to do is pick some time when it's good for both of us, and I just pick a song, a pirate song, and we just work on a routine, and that's all I do. I work on that, and that's all I do, and I get it down, and that's all I'll ever do is the one song, but I'll get it down the way I want to be able to do it, and I can then say, I can check off one more box on my talents, and that
I am
would be
down. I have choreography to Wellerman.
Oh!
I do, the sea shanty.
I would love that one. Yep, that would be it, the Wellerman. Everybody would think, well, Captain Mayhem's going to do Pirates of the Caribbean.
We've done that at
No.
one of Max Michael's events. He had a mini con at the theater, the what is it called, the planetarium.
Yes.
And we did Wellerman.
Did you really?
Yeah, he had like a pirate themed, steampunk themed event, and I was like, guys,
You know
we
what?
have to
He
do Wellerman.
He wanted to get me to come up and work that one, and I couldn't.
Yeah,
He calls me up once in a while. And he says, "Hey, I need a pirate. I need a magician." it just
He has a lot of events, so chances are they're usually when you're busy.
and
Right.
to give you an idea how mad it's gotten. I do the educational tours, and then I do the weekend tours. Now the weekend tours are for the public, but during the week it's all educational tours. From January 1st to May 4th, that's 4 months. January, February, March, April. January, February, March, April, 4 months. We have over 800 educational tours in 4 months. It's just exploded.
That's great.
It's good.
It's exhausting.
It's
but
exhausting
it's great.
because here's what people don't understand about the shows, and I'm not trying to take from your time on my show,
it's fine.
but it's the same with you. And I'll segue it to this idea. Every tour is a miniature show for me. Mm-hmm. I have to be on. I'm on my character. I don't lose my voice, and it's a miniature show. When I do 6, 7, or 8 a day, I'm wore out at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, when we do GalaxyCon, we do 3 shows, sometimes 4 in a day, and for us they're hour long and very cardio heavy. But like, there's also the acting part, and one of our shows is a Disney sing along, which involves a lot of dancing, believe it or not, and acting.
And so, as a performer, as fellow performers, I'm going to ask you this, because I have this feeling. There are times when I've done a series of shows or a show and I go home and I'm tired. But there's 2 kinds of tired. There's the tired where you're just dragging and it's like, oh my God. But there's the other tired that's euphoric. Mm-hmm. The euphoric one comes from the fact that you know that you just did a great show. You just absorbed the energy of the crowd, and it's a great tired that you come home and there's still some energy there, but it's not the energy that you're going to get up and dance anymore.
Yeah.
Do you experience that too?
Definitely. That makes me think of being in the hotel room after a day at like GalaxyCon Columbus, where we had a Disney sing along at 11, and then we had our show at 4, and then we had a mini show at 7, and then we had the Rocky Horror Picture Show at 11. And I got back to the hotel room at 1:30 in the morning, and it was just this like a grin on my face, tired. Like, I was in pain and I was tired, but it was such a good feeling.
But you're so tired that you're not tired that you're going to go to sleep. You're just tired that you just need to sit there and absorb it and
talk to the company about what we just did. Like, guys, can you believe that we just did that?
I've had comedy club shows like that. I've had magic shows like that. But then I've had the exact opposite, where the energy of the crowd, because you're
that's it. That's the key.
It is the key. Live performances depend on the energy of your audience.
Yes.
And if your audience isn't there, it's a tough show.
Yes.
It's a tough show. I've done comedy clubs where the first 10 or 15 minutes of my routine, I'm getting this.
And sometimes, and then after the show, they'll be like, wow, you were great. And you're like, where was that energy when I was up there? Like, why were you so milquetoast when I was up on the stage?
It's the best part about being a live entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
You can do videos and you can do movies, but you don't get to absorb the energy of the crowd that's watching you.
It's why I love that Noise Complaint is, for the most part, a kids show. Like, we entertain all ages, but we always make sure that it's kid-friendly because we want to have kids in the audience. Because while we're dancing, a lot of times they get up and just start dancing next to their chair.
Yep.
We love that energy. Or, sometimes they'll just run around the room when one of our dancers, Cam, they run around the audience with pom-poms for one of our dances in the Avengers set. Long story, but they do that.
Pom-poms in the Avengers doesn't match, but okay.
Our Avengers set is the Disney takeover of Marvel.
Okay.
Avengers Civil War. That's what Tony Stark and Captain America are fighting about.
Right.
Never mind the Sokovia Accords. It's about Disney, and Sean actually plays Tony Stark, and I play Captain America, so I just get to be mad at him the whole time. It's fantastic. But when Cam goes out there with the pom poms, sometimes kids chase them around.
Really?
Oh yeah, and we love that. So I love having kids in the audience because no matter what, they'll bring the energy. You
may or may not have done this in your shows, but if you haven't, it's a suggestion. Gina, you know Gina, she's my belly dancer.
I love her.
She's a world-class belly dancer. And so there are some shows that I book her for that instead of her doing all these sets, she'll do one set that's called scarf dancing. Mm-hmm. And she brings the kids up and gives them scarves and teaches them a couple of moves, and they're all dancing and having a good time, and they're involved in what she's doing. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have to do anything but have some fun with the kids.
We have one dance in every show that we jump off the stage and go out in the audience and dance with everybody. Because some cons are a little weird about bringing non-talent up on the stage just for like logistics purposes and
Yeah,
legal
I see
purposes. So we jump down and we dance with the kids for like, or dance with the adults for like a third of the song.
Well, very
It's
cool.
Really
Very cool.
fantastic.
When you're doing live shows, most people that don't know or are involved with live entertainers like us, they may not completely comprehend the idea, but those people, if whatever you can do to make them a part of the show, that's why almost every one of my magic shows is audience interaction. The audience has to be a part of the magic trick.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's just me doing a couple of tricks, and it's not. I'm not that entertaining. The people make it entertaining.
That's part of where the magic in our show comes from, and this is going to sound really, really weird, but it comes from the mistakes that happen. Like if the sound has a problem, we get we laugh with the audience about that. Like we just had a major issue with the sound in Columbus. The wrong sound guy was there, and he didn't know how to work the thing, and so we had this big moment of like, uh-oh, our music's not playing, and I was like, all right, audience, loading screen. And since we had already had an issue in one of our other shows, they knew what we were talking about. We got the whole audience to do this like silly little dance with us until the sound was fixed. And it took this moment that could have been a disaster for a live show. And it turned it into this moment that the audience got to feel like, oh yeah, we're helping with the show. We're doing the loading screen. And then it happened again later. And they were like, loading screen! And they were just so excited about it.
And that's the best part about live shows. There's two good things about live shows. One, the ability to bring the audience into a show. And two, the ability of the entertainer to roll with the punch.
Oh yeah, and as a live entertainer, there's so many punches you have to roll with.
Oh, constantly.
From the sound guy taking the sound system. This is my favorite story from a noise complaint show. Sound guy knew we were coming up. 5 minutes till our show. Takes the sound system with him on lunch. So Sean had to do the whole show tap dancing, holding the phone with a microphone up to the phone so that it would amplify, because that's all we had. There was no sound system that would handle anything, just a microphone and a PA speaker.
Wow.
That's it.
So Davey handles almost every bit of sound for the Swashbucklers and the podcast and everything else. And Davey's had some interesting things that have happened. Every once in a while, people just don't understand, right, Davey?
Yes. Miss Gina's Gala was one such one.
Oh,
I wasn't supposed to do sound for the whole thing. I was only asked to do some Christmas music and run, maybe some dance music. But when I showed up there, I had to end up doing sound for Gina's dancers. All the performers and they were bringing music to me, and I didn't have a chance to do sound checks with them or know the music ahead of time. I had to scramble around. She also produced 2 brand new speakers and equipment that I had to sync up and get everything going because she knew nothing about. That's the kind of stuff that makes it so exciting.
Absolutely.
Just
And
MacGyver.
making it exciting is an understatement, that's for sure. Making it work is just the best thing.
The tech people are the miracle workers. Like, no show can happen without the tech people, the sound person, the lighting person, the stage manager. No show can properly happen without them. You can be missing the actor, and the show could still technically happen. Those tech people are everything for a show, and so I always make sure that we thank our tech people at every single event.
I used to get in such trouble in the magic circles because I would tell some of the magicians, you're just a prop in the show. No, I'm the show. No, you're not. Without the person doing the lights, because lights are important in a magic show.
Oh yeah.
Without the person doing the sound, and without the female assistants that get in and out of the boxes and do all the work, you're just a prop. And so I would have other magicians go, well, you can't, no, we're the show. No, you're not. And I would always make sure that everybody knew that the show is not me. I'm just the center focal attention of the show.
That. Yep.
But without the girls jumping in and out of the boxes, or without some of the things going on behind stage that makes things work.
Putting the props in the correct
Putting the
place
props
at
in
the
the correct place,
correct time.
handing them
That's
to you
stressful.
properly, because if they
Yes.
hand them to you the wrong way,
I
then
get
it's-
more stressed out when I help with a show than if I'm the center of the show. Like, I'm not even stressed out then. But if somebody's like, hey, can you make sure this prop gets here during this break? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me stress about it for 20 minutes.
because all of it is important.
Yes.
All of it makes it's like one of the examples I used to use is that any show, magic show, a play, a dance recital, the ballet that you're helping with and being a part of, it's like baking a cake. And there's all these ingredients that go into it. And if you forget one of the ingredients, then the cake's not going to actually be that good at the end of the baking process, and it's not going to be that well. So you need everything, and everything has its place, and everything has its measurements, and everything has its spot that it's got to be put in its exact right time. And then at the end of the show, there it is.
I love that.
It's a baked cake, and it's presentable to the audience.
I love that analogy. That's
So
fantastic.
you have to. It's just. And it requires everybody. Everybody has to be a working part of it. The best part that I have, and I'll say this online, with you, with Gina, and with some of the other people I work with, I really respect what you do. But there's more of a love for the personality that we have as friends, because I know that if I have you coming to be a part of something I'm doing, and there's something about what you're doing is not quite right, that's not going to fit with what I want, you're not going to slit my throat if I come and tell you, hey, can we work this a different way? It's one of the reasons I have a working relationship with Miss Gina and the Ancient City Sirens, because I've worked with them for 16 or 17 years, and anytime there's a difference of opinion about something in the show, we just stand over here on the side and we talk about it and we work it out and we come into a compromise. Doesn't always have to be my way, doesn't have to always be your way, but as entertainers we figure out the compromise, and we realize that compromise is what makes a show.
Yeah, the compromise is whatever's best for the audience.
Absolutely.
'Cause that's the most important thing.
Yeah, whenever I'm thinking about what I'm doing as a performer, I'm always thinking, how's the audience? And I'll give you a perfect example of how I really misplayed that once, badly. I had this idea. Cut a Lady in Half routine is just so mundane as far as magicians are concerned. And I had this routine where we put a frame over the center of a woman's body, and we used a Black & Decker power saw, and it would go through the frame, and we would cut her in half. And in all magician shows, they pull the table apart, and the girl comes apart, right? Well, she's visible except for this frame. So we did it to a song called, I can't remember the band. Remember the song Keep 'Em Separated?
Yeah.
We did it to that because I thought it would be funny. I thought it would be hilarious.
I think it's hilarious.
And so my assistants are running around. We're doing all this in time to the music, and we put the thing down. We put the person on it, and one of my assistants is sitting there chowing down on a big Subway sandwich, and I take it away from them and put it on the table and admonish them. And then we get the song, we do the whole thing, we take the thing off, and they pull the table apart as if the woman's going to come apart, right? Before we pull the table apart, one of the assistants walks over, and the sandwich is now in two pieces to show that it actually worked. But when they pull the table apart, she just falls to the floor.
Oh.
And I look at it in horror that something didn't go right. And the audience, there was not one response from the audience. Not one. Nothing about it. I thought the sandwich cutting in half and the dancing around and the fact that she fell and the magician's now an idiot because it didn't work right and everybody's, the crew is making fun of me and I thought the audience would think it was hilarious. We didn't get any response. No noise, anything.
That's the worst.
It is the worst.
That is the worst.
And it just happened to be the trick that we did that led into the intermission.
Oh no.
So as I'm standing there doing this to a silent audience, and the auditorium sat 1,500 people, I'm doing this, expected applause, there's nothing. I'm going, shut the curtain, shut the curtain, shut the curtain. and the curtains go, and we go to intermission. I thought it was hilariously funny in my head.
The fact that the sandwich was cut in half is what makes that so funny.
But the audience didn't get it. And it was like, oh my God, what did I just do? So sometimes in our head, we think it's hilarious, we think it's funny, we think it's entertaining, and then the audience doesn't get it.
Sometimes I write all of the scripts for Noise Complaint. And sometimes I write jokes that land beautifully. And then sometimes it's a little too niche for the audience that I was doing it for. Like, I have one of my jokes is a Janeway joke from Star Trek Voyager, and I say, maybe there's coffee in that nebula. And most of the time people don't laugh because I forget I'm a dork. And I know that joke. The last con, people laughed, though, because a bunch of Trekkies at the con. But, like, I keep getting disappointed because I'm like, but that was funny.
Yes, it's really...
But 12-year-olds don't know that.
Sometimes they don't get it.
No.
I mean, I told a joke at Santa the other night. What kind of motorcycle does Santa Claus ride? A Harley Davidson.
Oh.
Now, the guy wearing the Harley Davidson jacket on my ride the other day thought it was hilarious. The children didn't get it.
Yeah.
So, it's...
Unfortunately, with the scripts that I write, they're all pre-written, so I can't just, like, change them for the audience that we have. I just have to say the joke and just kind of go over it a little bit.
So, there are ways you can handle that. I've done it before, where I know the joke may or may not work, so I have an extra assistant, and they have on a piece of cardboard, this was a joke, laugh, and they walk across the stage with the sign. This was a joke, you can laugh now, and they walk across the stage. So you can do that.
Finn, that's your new sign. If you're watching, you need to make that sign. Or Shelby, either way.
I hope some of your crew is watching. I hope they are watching tonight.
I know a couple of them are.
Good,
actually.
good.
I can see them in the comments.
Then I hope they'll come and watch us more often. So we've had such a good time, and this is the part I love about this show. We only schedule it to do an hour, but when we have really great audiences, we're already over an hour, ladies and gentlemen. And I love that because we get to have a good time and talk about things, and we've had good relationships with our shows together.
Yeah.
And
we haven't seen each other in 5 ever.
We haven't. I mean, you didn't get to go to the last Ancient City Con, so I didn't get to see you. It was the one before that, so we haven't seen each other in over almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So they're talented crew. Noise Complaint we're trying to bring into Old City Pirate Festival, and we think it'll be a lot of fun. Maybe what we could do is, let's make this plan. Old City Pirate Festival 2024. Maybe I'll have learned to tap dance by then.
Oh, yes. We can do Wellerman.
I have a whole year.
We can do Wellerman.
We can do Wellerman. That would be a lot of fun. That is the plan. And now it's on video, and now everybody's going to know it, and I'm going to have to really keep to it. So we'll see what we can do.
Stone.
I think I can learn it. Look, I wrote the choreograph for the sword fighting with Peter Pan for the ballet. I wrote it.
That's great.
And
because I don't think anyone else there knew how to sword fight.
No, and I wrote it, and it was 5 pages long because every move was on that page. And then as we learned it, I could cross them off, and it becomes muscle memory.
Funny story, Sean is actually the Rat King in the Nutcracker that we're doing on Thursday. This is his first time in a ballet, so very much like where you were at.
Good
his
job.
First time. And so he's the Rat King, and they were like, oh, you need a bigger sword because he's much taller than the Nutcracker. Like, our Nutcracker's like 11. And so it's this big height differential. And so I have a bunch of swords in my garage because Noise Complaint has a lot of props. He is using the Master Sword from The Legend of Zelda.
Oh, really?
Big giant sword. And I'm like, a couple of dads in the audience are totally going to notice.
Yeah.
So speaking of sword fighting, but they don't know really how to sword fight, so it's more just like don't hit him with this giant sword. Don't hit the 11-year-old with the giant sword.
And one of the things we did with and people may or may not know this, but one of the things we did, pirates fought with cutlasses. Mm-hmm. But we did not do that in the ballet. A lot of people didn't know. We used foils.
Oh, I thought it was rapiers.
We use fencing foils.
Okay.
And the reason we did it is because they're easier to work with. They're easier to work with. Rapiers would have been good too, but the foils were easier to work with, and made the right kind of noise for the show that we needed.
Okay.
And it was easier to work with those. But those are little nuances that you change in the show. to make it work with the show.
Yeah.
So cutlasses would have been a little bit burdensome for my costume too. So,
Yeah.
So very good. So Davey, we've gone way over, and I want you to, let's see. Do you have one of your Christmas videos?
Of course.
Of course. Well, let's see what you got.
Just happened. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away.
Gotten your shopping done, because I've been out in the crowds today and there's crowds. It's terrible, but we don't want to miss our week in history. So Mr. Davey, while you're playing a week in history, I'm going to look over our comments.
All right.
Davey, what a great... I learned some things there. Thomas Edison had the first string of Christmas lights in 1881. I didn't know that. It's great that Davey Longwood, for our listeners, always finds things that's appropriate, that works within the show that we're doing every week. I don't know how you do it, but keep doing it. Like I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, I kind of fell asleep this afternoon because I just finished four 14-hour days in a row. And I fell asleep at the computer, and I woke up rushing to try to catch up with things this afternoon. But let's talk about some of these comments we have here. Zachary Harker, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you aboard. I see Ken Smith there. Thank you very much. Donna Bogus, we love to try to mention everybody that's on there. Love me some bamboo. Yes. And as you can see, I've had a second one now, so I'm doing well. Greetings, Captain. Keep up the good work with all of your gigs. That's a Facebook user, so I'm not sure who that is, but thank you very much. Nightingale, very good. Hello, Anna. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for showing up on our show. We hope you'll watch us more often. Let's see, who else is out here? Let's see, Ken Smith, early in the morning. That would be an answer to our question, when do you open your Christmas presents? Early in the morning. And Donna Bogus says her family opened one gift on Christmas Eve, and the rest of the gifts were opened on the Christmas morning. Very good. And Anna says she does not do mornings. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. We opened our presents on Christmas Day. Yep, very good. Loudmouth Gamer. We like him. He's got a whole lot of being involved with our show tonight. Very good. Both. We have my father's side of the family visits on Christmas Eve, so we open gifts from them. Then on the day of Christmas, we open them from our parents. Very good. I think a lot of people are like that. Thank you for the kind words, Davey. Always good words from Davey. Let's see, who else? Loudmouth Games. Captain Mayhem looked amazing dancing at the show. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I have a link that at about 1.20 shows, Captain Mayhem dancing. I believe he was the only one that was Captain Hook. Yes, you're probably right. Nobody else wanted to take the chance. I met the captain several years ago at the museum. We kind of met him. He was busy with people, but I fell in love with the museum and formally met him last year when we had time to talk at the museum. Yes, Ken Smith, and we love having you being a part of our crew here at the show. Always love that. A good man he is. Well, don't go overboard, okay? Nightingale in Florida. Captain Mayhem does so much for our community. I try not to let it out. It'll ruin my reputation. Shirley Temple was a good tap dancer also. That's right, she was. And she tap danced with Bojangles.
Yep. One of the most famous scenes, the stairs.
The stairs.
From Annie?
Yeah.
No.
No.
It wasn't an Annie. I'm bad at this, but...
I don't remember the name of the movie. It was black and white.
Yeah.
Those
two were like besties, though. It was really, really sweet.
Here's a piece of trivia for you. Shirley Temple, they wanted to do away with that scene because she was holding hands with a black man. And she, even at her age, she refused to let that happen. And she was just such a wonderful tap dancer. And so is Bojangles. And
National Tap Dance Day is his birthday.
Is it really?
Yeah.
The Sammy Davis Jr., when he does Bojangles, the song, is one of the best renditions of Bojangles, the song.
I love it.
It is wonderful. I love all that. Loudmouth is here. True respect for someone's words. I love that. Thank you very much. One side of the page is a copy of his diary entry in the Hungarian language, and the other side is translation. Very good.
Yeah,
we are going to follow that up and put those... When we start to become a little bit more popular, we will have a Captain's Quarters podcast store, and we will be offering all these books, or at least links to get these books. I know the feeling of going broke at con.
Yeah, every time. Every single time.
Yep.
Especially around the holidays.
Yes, it's terrible. There was another one in here. Let's see. Captain Grump and the Quartermaster Everhart of the crew of 829 have enjoyed your show. Thank you very much for being a part of our show. We love having other crews. We'd like to feature your show, 829. or feature your crew. Let's see what we can do. Ken Smith met Marina Sirtis. Ooh,
Oh,
that would have been cool.
I got to pass by her once, and all I remember is that she really didn't like the coffee that she had. She's really, really nice, though.
She's so sweet. I bet she's
She's so nice.
Loudmouth is Jen is a Jen of all trades. I bet she is. Very good. Christmas Fantastique is such an amazing take on the Nutcracker.
Yeah, that's the show this Thursday.
I really liked what they were when I did the Peter Pan. That was a different take on Peter Pan also, because it wasn't just ballet. There was tap dancing.
Yeah.
There was all kinds of other things, and I like that. Do they do the same thing with Stroika?
Yeah, Zoika has, it's not just adding tap to a ballet, it's like all the major solos, like Chinese is hip hop, but there's also ballet in it. Russian is tap, but there's also ballet in it. Snow is a contemporary dance. It's crazy. It's
cool.
the coolest thing. I don't do ballet. I used to, but I don't anymore. I never thought I would ever be in snow. And at 39 years old, I'm performing in snow.
Very good.
That's
Very good.
crazy.
Captain Mayhem, the holodeck program.
Yeah, if you were a holodeck program, you could tap dance and every other kind of dance.
I could. Maybe that's what I need to do is get a holodeck program here. Maybe that's what we need to do.
Space
Very
Pirates.
good. There was another one here. Here was somebody. Ken Smith is also a fan of Doctor Who, and there was an episode where he ends up on Edward Lowe's ship.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? I might have to look that one up. That's pretty cool. So much freaking talent. I'm sure he's talking that. Loudmouth Gamers is related to Jen,
Yeah,
so I'm sure he's talking about her.
He's also a big loudmouth, so
Yeah.
that's why he's talking so much.
Oh, Ken Smith, you're right. That would be funny, too. The Pirate Song by Ray Stevens. You ever seen that? Oh, the Pirate Song by Ray Stevens. If you have a few minutes when I show you this other video, I'll find that. I'll show you that one, too. It's funny. It's hilarious. In fact, I think Ray Stevens actually does a little bit of a couple of two-toe tap dance parts to it. I'll show it to you. It's hilarious. That's a good point. I love that. I love bringing that song up because Ken Smith, believe it or not, some of the pirates are a little bit on the phobic side, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's see. I still am looking for that.
Oh,
The remark that we both laughed at as I was looking through it. Loudmouth says the magician is just the prop.
I think it's up more.
Is it forward down or we got to find it?
Yeah,
we got to
I think
find
it's
it.
up more.
I'm going to go all the way to the end first. If Santa sees you when you're sleeping and awake and knows if you've been bad, how come he didn't know Rudolph was being bullied?
That's funny.
I like that one. Aye, very good. Davey, good job with the video. Let's see. Andrew's on board. I can see that. Andrew, if I didn't say it enough, you're a fine performer and you did yourself well. I've heard nothing but good reports from the gala. You did well. Let's see, and we've reached the end. So you're right. We got to go back. There was a comment made by somebody that we have to go back and find. Let's see.
I think it was when we were talking about letters from camp.
Holodeck, no. We've got to find this one. I'm sorry if we're going to hold off here, but this one was actually...
We're almost there. There.
Oh! Loudmouth Gamer. Imagine. I think if we almost... Wait.
No, it's the one above it.
It's the one above it. I always wanted to ask a flat earther if during the pandemic with a 6-foot distance thing, if that pushed anyone over the edge. That's hilarious. I love that. Wow. And if it pushed anybody over the edge, that would be okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some great comments here. Another one of two have just popped in. Let's see. Thank you, Captain. Also, this is Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. You did a wonderful job. I'm proud to actually make sure that you get a couple of jobs from me. The payback I'll let you know what it's going to be. The movie was The Little Colonel.
Cool. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you very much, guy. The one guy was a sore loser at games and banned them on Christmas.
Oh, the guy that the in the history of This Week in History is the one that banned games on Christmas.
Yeah, he probably was a sore loser. Good idea, yeah. And Shirley Temple was a great tap dancer. Very good. I love it when we get great comments, and that's why we have to take the time to administer some ideas for those comments and have you be a part of it. That's what the show's about, is our crew. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to move on to the ending of our show. And I'll put that back there. So the ending of our show is always the same. We want to say some thank yous. First, we want to say New on the Horizon. Ladies and gentlemen, next week will be a special story episode. We're going to pre-record it and put it on, and it'll be Captain Mayhem reading one of the books that's over there. Here, we'll actually show them to you. We have 2 books that we're working on. One of them is A Pirate's Night Before Christmas, and the other one is A Pirate's 12 Days of Christmas. So we're going to be reading those books and doing a pre-recording of them, and then just putting it on the show for people to just watch, because on Monday night after Christmas, I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of viewers anyway. So that'll be our contribution to Christmas and the holidays. It is now time to say our thank yous. Oh, wait a minute. Go back up there one more time. John Stavely will be here on January 2nd. John Stavely plays Henry Flagler throughout the town. He's done that so for about 15 or 20 years. He will not be dressed as Henry Flagler, but January 2nd is actually Henry Flagler's birthday. So we'll be talking about the history of Henry Flagler. January 9th, January 23rd, or February 8th, believe it or not, I am going to be honored by having the Sheriff of St. Johns County come and sit in that chair.
Wow.
And the Sheriff is going to come and talk to us and be a part of our show. So we're looking forward to that. And I'm trying to get Troy Blevins and Pete Melfi to come into the show separately. I don't think I could handle both of them together. They are part of the 904 Now. Huge conglomeration of news that everybody gets on the morning time here, and we want them to be a part of our show also. So you can see it. We're kicking along, and we have another year to go. We are already making plans, so come out. We can now do live broadcast in certain locations, and we want you to be a part of that also. Davey's already worked that out. We have cameras for it, and we have a good time doing live broadcasts. So come out and see us. It is time to say thank you to our show sponsors. Ancient City Sirens, Dick's Wings, Paper and Strings. That's Adam and Christy over in Tampa. They're great musicians. Shiver Me Pictures, Scarlet Deerheart, the Colonial Oak Music Park, and St. Augustine's Pirate and Treasure Museum. Those are our sponsors. But if you'd like to be a sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, we've worked out some new sponsorship programs for 2023. We'd love to have you. Some of that sponsorship actually includes that you get to be a part of one of our shows, and we will do a live broadcast from your location if you would like. We'd love to have you be a part of our show. It is time to say thank you to our crew. Our crew is W Mayhem Productions, the St. Augustine Swashbucklers, the Powder Monkey, who you saw in some of the videos, and he made one appearance. And of course, there's the cartoon characters of Captain Mayhem, Gunner Henley, and, well, Davey Longwood. That is our cartoon characters, and we're working on putting them on some t-shirts. Hopefully we'll be able to sell those and make some money. Reminder of our charities. Ladies and gentlemen, all the work that the St. Augustine Swashbucklers and the Captain's Quarters podcast do, the money goes to St. Augustine Youth Services, Inc., Investing in Kids, and the Humane Society. And we just wrapped up our 13th annual toy drive here, ladies and gentlemen. And it was a huge success. We'll be talking about that next week or the week after when we start January's first episode. So come out and be a part of that episode also. If you want to be a part of our Patreon, there is the QR code. Flash that on your phone and be a part of it. We have how many Patreon members and how many supporters? Look at that. We're at 290, ladies and gentlemen. Remember what I said in August when we were only at about 220, 225. I wanted to be at 300 by the end of the year. Today is the 19th. We have at least 11 or 12 days to go to get 10 more to make it to 300. We have 6 sponsors. We have 1 Powder Monkey on Patreon, and we have 12 First Mates. So, ladies and gentlemen, add to it, join with us, and be a part of what we do. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've reached a show that we've done for 1 hour and 30 minutes. That might be a record. We may have one other show that was that long. But the shows are only that long if I have great guests. Because it makes me talk more. It makes me have a good time. And I truly do enjoy sharing the screen time with other entertainers that I truly love and have a good time with. Jen,
It's all good.
I'm always going to call you Gene. I've always called you Gene. But
I'm good
Jen,
with it.
anything you want to tell our listeners? Finish up the whole show for me before the guys go into our monologue.
Like a piece of advice or something?
Yes, a piece of advice, a way to get people to watch the show.
A way to watch the show or get people to watch the show. This is, you'll learn things and you'll meet great people on this show, like this guy right here. Piece of advice I can give you is it's never too late to try whatever it is you've always wanted to do.
We're going to prove that with me learning to tap dance. How's that sound?
Whatever it is you've always wanted to do.
I'm going to do it.
It's never
I
too
want to
late
learn
to
to
try
tap
it.
dance. I may never learn to play the banjo, but I will learn to tap dance. And there was a third one. I always wanted to learn how to play the violin, too.
I can teach you that.
Really?
Yes, I can do that.
Only have to learn one. All I have to do is tap dancing to one song. Wellerman it is. I'll start listening to it over and over and over now. And we'll see what we can do.
Awesome.
It's been a great show, ladies and gentlemen. We thank everybody for being a part of the show. Mr. Longwood, kick us off.
Part of the podcast.
Part of the crew.
Always, we love our audience. We love our crew. We thank you for being a part of our show. Tune in next week and every week to Captain's Quarters Podcast, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you very much. Ahoy.